Hey fam, it is Circle Back to Sunday, and you are not going to want to miss what we have got going on here with some fun laughter, some great conversation. Let's apply it to our lives in both spiritual and physical, maybe even a little bit mental. And of course, there's going to be lots of wheezing and laughter and making fun of each other because that is what family does. Hey, we're going to lean into questions that you may have about spiritual things. We're also going to talk through the sermon series and get into the Word. You're not going to want to miss this time together. Hey guys, welcome back to Circle Back to Sunday. We are so excited that you have joined us again this week because it is going to be a great podcast today. Sure. I have got one of my besties, Mallory Harper, here beside me, and then my number one bestie, my husband, Gabe Graves, here. So we've got part of our teaching team joining us today. It's not Mason. I hope he listens to this. But we are going to have a great conversation today. And before we get started, I want to let you know you can still get some merch, Circle Back to Sunday merch. It's awesome. Still up for grabs. So what we need from you is to tell us what you want to hear from the podcast, whether it's a subject matter that you're like, hey, I want to know what you guys think about it, a topic that you're struggling with, whatever it may be. If you'll drop it in the comments, or you can email it to Amy at lapayne@victoryhill.us. Yes. Yeah. All right. Just make sure I mess that up every time. But you can email her as well, and that gets you in the drawing for the Circle Back to Sunday merch. Awesome. So let's circle back to Sunday. First of all, we just kicked off our under construction sermon series. I was going to say podcast, but that wasn't it. Sermon series, and I will say that it was already so powerful, but we are also under construction here at the building. So if you are not familiar, if you do not go to Victory Hill, welcome. We're so excited that you're here. But at Victory Hill Church, we are under construction. We got to see a little bit of it last night, face to face, like in person. It's the first time I'd seen it in person, and it was like blow your socks off. Like you hear what it's going to be, but seeing it is so different.
It is, and our worship center is tore.
It is nasty in there.
It is nasty.
It is gross.
There's walls gone. There's
everything. Doors moved.
Yes, it's all. It's
really cool.
Yeah,
I love
it. Drew Ritchie that goes to church here. He's one of our board members. We were talking. He was like, "You excited to see it?" And I was like, "Not really. Like, I don't want to see it. I want to wait till it's done and then see it, because I like when you see like it happening, sometimes it's like, oh, I want it to keep going, and I'd rather just wait. Like, I just want to wait and see it at the end.
Like, I agree. And it's mainly because then it'll look like the picture we thought it would. You know what I mean? Like, now I'm like, oh, are we getting, no, that's not what it feels like. But when you're doing a house, that is like, I can remember when we built our house, we have a basement, and we dug the basement, and we went over there the day that they dug it. Okay. So there's not any like frames up to pour the concrete. It's just dug out. Yeah. And we walk in it, and we're like, oh man, we didn't do this big enough. Like, it's going to be so small.
We did the same with our house, but it wasn't when we dug the basement, is when they put the stakes out before they dig anything.
Oh yeah.
And they get it all laid out. Yeah. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this is so little.
We made it too small.
I know. And like our main floor is like 2,000 square feet.
Same.
And like, so it's not like it's small.
No.
It's not small, but like just in the grass. Like with the stakes, you're like, oh, we messed up.
It was exactly the same.
We messed up.
And we think like I'll go in there and be like, were they supposed to do that? Like, I don't think they did that. Like,
because,
I know
because you're a builder.
Exactly.
About what they're doing.
It all the time. It's fun, you know. Or the framing was the same way. Like, you see it and you're like, oh no, this bathroom is way small, but it's really not. It's exactly what it's supposed to be in the right measurements, hopefully. But we had a few mishaps with our build when we were doing ours, as far as just what we thought, what it was going to be. So it's really fun to be under construction, I feel like. But as a physical building, we're under construction. And so if you are hearing this for the first time and you're like, hey, I really want to check out Victory Hill, then you are not going to want to come to our campus here at, I don't know the actual Veterans Memorial one, but 9848 Bowling Green Road. You can find us there.
Our physical address is 9593 Veterans Memorial Highway.
See, I do not know that one.
Yes.
It's been a long time, and it's always been 9848 Bowling Green Road.
That's the old side.
But you will find us there, but you will not find the people here on a Sunday morning. We are meeting at Alvaton Elementary, right up the road. I think it's like, 4 miles is what we said? Less than 4 miles, something like that. And it was so fun this Sunday. Like, it was relational, and I don't know, it was like old school church.
Oh yeah, and it was so cool to see everybody there all at one time.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I'm a person, because I'm on staff here, I come to all the services.
Right.
So I see everybody, but to see everybody all at once was really cool.
It was fun.
And there were new faces, which
that's so
shocked
cool.
me.
Yeah.
I'm like, they knew how to find us, and
Yeah.
it was so amazing that we had new people connect with us on
And
Sunday.
I think that it was like such a I don't know, an energetic
Like
atmosphere.
anticipation.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Everybody was excited to be where we were and doing what we were doing.
It was cool. Like, I think people, because it's great having all the awesome sound equipment, all the lights, all the things that we do to try to like make it just a great experience. But I think people were kind of excited, like, let's see what it's like when it's just us, you know, just
Stripped
us
down.
singing
Yeah.
and just us. Like, all the lights are on, you can see everybody's face. Like, there's just a different element to that, and I think people just thought it was cool. So.
Pastor Travis kicked us off this past week with a fantastic message on just honestly just being prepared for, you know, when you're under construction, you got to be prepared and what that means. And so it was just an all around great day. It was so fun. But all right, what's the biggest mess you've ever made? So it could be like physical, like in your house, work. Maybe it was a mess up in work, in your life period. What's the biggest mess you've ever made? It could be serious. It could be silly. It could be fun.
I think for me, it's just any time that I decide I'm going to organize something.
Oh, no.
Because anytime you try to,
Everything
like,
comes out.
everything comes out, and you make a bigger mess to start with. And I can remember, like, a few times my husband's come home in the middle of it. He's like, "What are you doing? Like, what is this? What have you done?
Yep.
Why are all of our pots and pans and all the food and everything in the middle of the kitchen floor?"
100%.
Yeah.
It's like, because I'm trying to get my
I'm
life
trying
together.
to get it together. Okay. This is my area of the house.
So we have to get it all out to see
Yes.
what it is, what I need, and then put it back, and then get rid of the stuff that I don't put back.
Yep.
So I think that's the biggest mess.
I am there.
At our house.
I actually did that this past weekend, and Gabe was like, "Okay, are we gonna put this up before bedtime?" Because it was like 7 p.m. when I started. I would say physically, for me, a physical thing to talk about is my attic. I decided last year that I was gonna. I guess it was last spring. Yeah, it had to be because it was before I broke my leg.
Yeah.
Couldn't climb the thing, but that I was gonna go through every tote in my attic, because I've kept clothes, you know, from each kid or whatever, and go through every tote and get rid of the things I know I'm not ever going to put on them. Like, they're not ever going to wear. Or I kept some that was like play clothes, and I'm like, that's really big play clothes. Like, they are nasty, you know, and just getting rid of stuff. And so I had piles everywhere. But it wasn't something that could be finished in a day. So there are still piles everywhere. 1 year later, it's fine. It's okay. It's all right. We don't go up there. It's okay.
Yeah.
Our ladder was broke for a while.
Yeah.
Now it's fixed. Dang it. Now I've got to really work in there.
Well, I said I don't go in my attic. I don't go in my attic anymore, because also another big mess that I've made is I have stepped through the ceiling of our attic, like the floor, into a room.
Wasn't that recent?
That was about a year ago. I was up there trying to move things around, trying to organize stuff, and I stepped off, like, I thought there was more floor. There was not more floor. And I ended up putting a hole in the ceiling of my kitchen right in front of the refrigerator.
Yep. Sure enough did. I do remember
So
that.
so I just don't go in the attic anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I just don't go there anymore.
We use Marco Polo a lot around here, and I do remember getting a Marco. Like, how's your Saturday going? Here's how's mine's going.
There is a hole in the ceiling of my kitchen, because I almost went through it.
It could have been so much worse.
It could have. Like, I just ended up with a bruise up my hip, but could have been real bad.
Oh, jeez. How about you, babe?
I think that I don't know if it's the biggest mess, but it's one that I remember is once me and your dad had bought a horse trailer, and we decided we were going to like renovate it and make it look nice, and then we were going to sell it.
This was in our like buy everything, sell everything.
Yeah, buy
phase.
sell time. Like it was, we were having a good time, like learning all that, and so. We bought this trailer, and we fixed the things that need fixed, and then it was time to paint it. And I was like, I'm just going to paint it. And he was like, great. I'll just pull it in the garage and paint it. And so I just started painting. And I just assumed as long as I was painting towards the trailer, it wasn't going to get on me or anything else. But I just started going, and I got done, and I was like, this is great. So I went to get your dad, and he's like looking at me like, what happened? Because I was like, I painted it white, and I was head to toe, like I had all my regular clothes on, and I was white from like head to toe. And his garage had like white all over
everywhere. And my mom didn't have an attic. That was the garage where like there was a portion of it that was where all of the totes went.
That's right.
All of it was
and
white.
Everything was like
covered in white
splatter of white. But it wasn't like it was like I never missed. It was just like the residue of it in the air.
It was
just
a
like
mist.
Yeah.
See what I did there?
I like it. So it was just nothing I could do to fix it. Like it just was what it was. And so it was really funny.
Hilarious. So we're talking about when we circle all this back, the reason I asked y'all the question is because we do make a mess when we're talking about demolition, when we're talking about construction, being under construction. Our series right now is talking about being under construction, both physically, mentally, spiritually, whatever it may be and look like for you. But being under construction, you talk about demolition. Like as you guys, when you think of demolition, I guess with the word of it, what would you think of? Like what's the first thing that comes to mind when someone says demolition?
Destruction, really. I mean, tearing stuff up.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think of those like home shows where they go in there and these like teeny tiny little girl goes in with the hammer.
Uh-huh.
Like that's just what I think
was thinking
like,
sledgehammer.
Yeah,
actually.
sledgehammers and
messy, nasty. Yeah. But before you can build something new, you got to tear down the old. So what we're talking about, and we can relate it to the building, and let's relate it some to spiritual things. But I was actually listening to a podcast this morning that was sort of talking about this, how you kind of have to tear something out first before you can build something back new. Yeah. And so, like, if you're demoing your kitchen, you're not going to just put new countertops over your old countertops. You're not just going to put, new flooring over your old flooring, or you shouldn't. Some people do. Just so you know. You're not putting new carpet over old carpet. You're tearing it out. And like, how would you guys relate that, I guess, maybe spiritually in your lives, or a time in your life that you've had to really take that to heart and maybe it got a little messy in the time?
Yeah, I mean, I would say, like, when you think about, like, tearing stuff out, sometimes I hear people say when they're, like, going to redo a house or rebuild or whatever, they're like, well, I can do the tear out. That's the easy part, but it's the rebuild that's hard. Mm-hmm. But in reality, the tear out's pretty difficult. Yeah. Like, when you start to take a sledgehammer, it's heavy. Yeah. And, like, you hit and you think it's going to take a whole wall out, but it just knocks a little hole.
It's true.
Right.
And then you can't just tear everything out. You've got to tear certain things out.
You got to be strategic.
And it's not very easy. It's not as easy. It's still really hard, which is the same is true in our walk with Jesus. Is when we're going through that tear out phase. It's not just, well, anybody can do it. Like, it's hard. Yeah. And you've got to know the right things to tear out and the things to keep.
Yep.
Yeah. That can be difficult.
That's really good.
Yeah. I think, too, like, our notes are talking about tearing down the old, what's something that you've had to let go of. I think of relationships.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because, there are times when, there are certain people that we just have to let go of sometimes, and that's hard. Just like when you're renovating a house or doing something, like sometimes the stuff that you're taking out is sentimental.
Yeah,
like my baby grew up in this room that was painted this color, or you're changing this thing or that thing or whatever. It's sentimental, and like those relationships, like it's hard sometimes, but sometimes those relationships become things that hold us back or hinder us. When we're moving stuff around in the house and renovating stuff, we moved our boys around and everything in our house. Like, they didn't want a room that was the same color as their sister's room. Right. Even though it was sentimental that we had painted the room the color that we did for one of the girls or whatever.
Yeah.
They don't want that. That's not what they would want. That's the sentimental part, but we had to let that go.
Yeah.
And it's is the same with people. Like sometimes it's hard because you do have good memories, but these people, you do have, lots of
there were good times.
Fond memories. There's good times. Otherwise, if they were always terrible,
we're not really friends.
You weren't, it's not something that you would have a hard time letting go of.
Right.
But those relationships where either, it has, become toxic or codependent or whatever that is, it's hard.
Yeah.
And it, that letting go is hard and the rebuilding is hard. Because, I can remember a time in my life, it was, right after college, and there were some people that I had to let go of.
Yeah.
And that was hard. It was rough because, I'd just gotten out of college and there wasn't like a natural separation of some of my college friends. Like they, moved off and stuff. And so we just weren't as close. But then there were other relationships I just had to, cut off just because it wasn't good for me spiritually to be in those relationships. But then at the same time, I was going through a season of like a natural distancing with some of my college friends. And so in all that, I became very alone for a while. I felt like I didn't have friends.
Yep.
And so that was a rough season of, like God was demoing my life a little bit, getting rid of some stuff.
Good.
It didn't feel good. Like it kind of stunk for a while.
Yeah.
But now looking back, like I can see God was preparing my life for the friendships he's brought into it over the last, how long have I been out of college? A really long time.
We don't have to talk about years.
We don't have to talk about that.
Let's not do that.
But I look at my life now, and I've got all the
It was last year.
I've got all these amazing friendships and people that I could call at a drop of a hat.
Right.
You guys, and our other group, in our circle, and I think of all these people that God's brought into my life, and the good things. But I don't think I would have all that if I'd hung on to those other relationships.
That's so good.
Yeah, it's like the whole an emergency on an airplane. The oxygen mask drops out, you put it on yourself first, and then you help other people. And when you're working through those relationships, especially when you're a loyal person, which I know like all of you are, is like you don't want to be that person that pushes a relationship away because they're your friend and you want to have them come with you. You don't want to, but you have to use wisdom in that. And that's what Pastor Travis was talking about on that Sunday was, the Bible talks about if you're not willing to hate your mother, your brother, your sister, if you're not willing to do that, you can't be my disciple.
Right.
And it's not necessarily to hate them. It's to say, I've got to put my mask on first.
Yeah.
And once I've got my mask on and I've got some clarity, then I'm able to help you. And it might look like to you that I'm hating you because I'm concentrating on me right now, but I can't do the things God's called me to come along your side and walk you through it if I don't put my mask on
I haven't done it first. Yeah,
that's right.
I keep thinking too, like with both situations, like when you picture like a sledgehammer going through a wall for demo day, like you don't just randomly go up to the wall and be like, I'm gonna do this one. You know if there's electric behind it. You know if there's something behind it. But sometimes you do it and you uncover more. And you know that there's going to be problems. You know that there's going to be more things now that you have to take care of. Yeah. But the wall still has to come down. And that's kind of the same scenario. Like sometimes we take out the things that are not godly, that are not in the right purpose for our life. We take them out and we are demoing them out of our life and cutting them out one by one. And, relationships, friendships, just things that we do in life in general, addictions, maybe, I don't know, anything like that, you're going to probably uncover something else that's going to lead to more demolition. Now I have to pause for a second, get the right electrician in here or get the right contractor in here, turn the electric off, and then I can pull that out, and then I can keep demoing. So it's not like you just, like you said, take the sledgehammer and knock down the whole wall. Right. Sometimes it's a piece at a time until you get the whole wall. Like, I don't think that I do think you can be, but in my life, I don't feel like I've been delivered from anxiousness overnight. But I do think little by little by little, God is tearing that. Yes, that God is tearing that wall down for me.
Yeah. Well, and it takes people with wisdom in your life. Like you can start tearing the wall down, or you can ask the electrician first.
Right.
If there's anything that he has there, or you can ask the
without
plumber
guidance,
first.
we wouldn't have known.
Yeah, that's right. And then the people that have wisdom can speak into your life so that you know the right ways to.
Or maybe I come in with a baseball bat to demo the wall instead of a sledgehammer,
and it pops off the wall and hits you in the forehead.
And that would be terrible. That actually feels like something that I would probably not think through and do myself, but I hit my head on the lamp this morning, getting in my spot to read my Bible, and I was like, oh my gosh. But you got to have the right tools. But I could come in with the wrong tool, but having the right relationship beside me, Mallory could be like, sis, you're not going to get it with that baseball bat. Here's a sledgehammer, type of scenario, to set you up. And I do think that like the more you chip at it, even if it's like it's a huge wall in your life, and we're taking it one swing at a time with that sledgehammer, I do think it continually comes down. So like after I had Patrick, so you don't really deal with it. I don't say you don't really. I didn't really deal with a lot of anxiety pre-kids. After kids, it's like I worried about death all the time type of thing. Like,
it's a whole different ballgame.
Yeah, everything is like, I could die this and I can't leave my kids, type of scenario. So I can remember very vividly, even from the hospital, leaving the hospital with Patrick and having to get on the elevator to go down one floor and freaking out because I was like, if it gets stuck and I fall, and he's got like, it was an internal thing because I was super happy to be going home. But what?
That's so funny because the only thing I remember about going home was Kentucky and North Carolina were playing.
Oh, they were.
And it was like 1 point game
left.
with 30-something seconds
and
left.
And that nurse was
not
waiting.
And the nurse made us leave the room.
She
and I was
not
like,
waiting.
We've been here for 2 days. Like, I'm talking 5 more minutes. Like, give me 5 minutes.
No.
And I don't even watch sports like that
but it was
anymore.
like a big game.
But at that time, I was like all about it. And you were worried about our baby, and I was worried about who is going to win this game.
And here we are.
My goodness.
But things like the elevators,
So
I didn't do elevators for a long time. I don't do heights. We went to the Grand Canyon. I didn't know that I was afraid of heights because I've done all kinds of crazy stuff like that. But we went to the Grand Canyon in 2021, and it only has like one bar surrounding it when you go. Okay, it's like, and there's only one area that has a bar. The rest of the whole Grand Canyon, free, open, fall as you please. But so we went to the touristy spot, and it has one bar.
Yeah.
And my kids are like, I want to go. Yeah, it was just one, literally one. And my kids were like, I'm going to go look over the edge. And I can just, thinking about it now makes my feet feel funny. Like I was like way far back, like bent over, like, don't get too close. Don't get too close. And like Gabe's like taking them all the way up. Like things like that, or airplanes. I can't do airplanes. Like I do feel like little by little, like I'm not afraid of elevators really anymore. I don't love them, but I'm not afraid.
Right.
Little by little, things that are coming down out of my life that are a fear of dying and leaving my kids without me are coming down. But I feel like it takes repetitive prayer, just like it would take repetitive action with a sledgehammer against a wall. The right people in your life to say, hey, that baseball bat's not going to get it. Here's your sledgehammer, because they're going to have to continue to tell you that, because you're not going to keep beating at this wall day and night, 24 hours a day.
Yeah.
You're going to lay it down, go home, go to sleep, go get some food and come back. And you have to continually have those people in your life. They're like, no, sis, not the baseball bat, the sledgehammer, the right tools, the right things in your life. I know many times for both of you, I've called on you for prayer. Like, hey, today I'm anxious and I don't really know why, but I just need prayer. And I know that that's like, I got you. Here's your sledgehammer. Like, let's go. Let's keep doing it or whatever. So I think that is just, you got to keep going. If you're going to peel back the layers of drywall, you've got to keep going. You got to discover what's underneath. You got to get rid of it. You got to go to the next wall type of thing. It's not a one-stop shop, one-time thing. All right, so let's keep it real life and funny, because that's what we do around here. And this is we like to roast each other and make fun of each other, but these two are not ones that we make fun of. Mason's not here. This is terrible. I can't make fun of anybody. But so, all right, demo disasters. Let's talk about it. What is a disaster that you have demoed, like whether it be in your house, something with your kids, anything you can think of that like comes to mind that you may have, a chaos in parenting, whatever it may be, some sort of demo mess?
Mal, if you got one, go for it, because I know that I've got one, but it's locked up somewhere. I got to find it.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think,
Reno
too.
fails.
I'm trying to think. Oh, okay. All right. So not really a Reno fail, but it was definitely a parenting fail. So we have 4 kids. Gabe, this is my husband, Gabe. We have 4 kids, and our middle son loves anything outdoors. He loves to fish. He loves to hunt. He loves to chop down trees, like all the things. Okay. Coincidentally, her middle son loves the same thing. They're like the same person, just a few years apart. Yep. But
they're both little old men.
Little old men. They should just have drinking coffee on the porch. Mm-hmm. Little old men. But one day, Kaysen wanted a hatchet. And he wanted this hatchet so bad, we kept talking about it. And I was like, no, like, you're like 7. You don't need a hatchet, you know? So what did he do? He got a hatchet for his birthday. It was great. It was not a gift that his mom bought, just so everyone knows. But
with control and parental guidance.
Yeah, well,
we
were sitting outside one day, and the others were inside, or Micah was outside playing or something. So Kaysen decided he was going to take his hatchet, and I have a video of this, and it makes me laugh so hard. I'm sitting in the driveway, and he's got a few sticks that he had gathered up out of the yard, and he's just a hatchet, like, going at it, okay? So he's going at it like this, and then you see him pick it up, and he looks at it, and he goes like this and, like, feels of it, and then he goes and does it to his head. And there's, like, this huge mark all the way down his head where he had just, like, I wonder if this is really sharp.
No.
It didn't bleed. It wasn't, like, sliced him open, but it was a big red mark down his forehead the whole time, and I was like, I don't feel like I talked to you about what this hatchet can do. Like, I feel like I probably should have prepared you a little more about not putting a hatchet on your forehead. So there's that. Anybody else? Y'all got anything funny?
I can't think of anything.
You can't think
really
of anything
that
we've done with our kids?
I think because you guys have 4 kids, we have 5 kids. I think we just live in parenting chaos.
Yeah.
Like it's something all the time.
It really
like
is.
yesterday, like I just feel like there's something all the time. Yesterday, I was supposed to pick up Henry's medicine. He has an ear infection. Completely forgot. Completely forgot. And he didn't even think to mention it until like this morning. He's like, "Hey, did you stop and get my eardrops?" I'm like, no. Oops.
Sorry about that. I'll get them today.
I'll get them today. I promise.
I do that all the time, literally all the time.
But it wasn't in my calendar. I didn't write it in my calendar, so I didn't do it.
Well, if it's not in the calendar, it's not real.
Exactly.
It's not real.
I had to put it all in the Google Calendar.
We were even talking about opening a door tonight for a small group, and I was like, I need you to do this because he'll be on campus and I won't. And I was like, I need you to do this. And he was like, okay, text me or something so I remember. And I was like, I'll put it on the calendar so it'll remind us. Because it will send us a reminder. Well, demolishing, is that's not it. Demolishing. Demolishing those old
I was watching the news the other day, and I don't watch the news, but in the mornings I would turn it on and check the thing. And the lady was reading the teleprompter, and she said,
she said something stupid.
She said, this something anonymously.
Yeah.
And I was like,
anonymously. That's what she said.
Unanimously.
Anonymously.
I didn't even know what you were trying to say.
And I was like,
she kept going. It was, professionalism at its finest. She kept going.
Wrong emphasis on the wrong syllable.
Yeah, she said. That's it. That's exactly what she did.
That was exactly.
It was so good. We both went.
It's like unanimously.
I don't think that's it.
Is that really?
No, that's not.
That's what you meant to say.
Demolishing is not it either, but it does look the same.
Yes.
Demolishing old lies or destructive behaviors can look rough, but you gotta take it plan by plan. I think that's a good thing to hit on. Like you've got to have a plan.
Yeah.
You don't just randomly start cutting things away,
right?
Or you don't randomly start like I'm going to start with the flooring instead of the walls or whatever.
Yeah.
Like there may be like you've got a plan of action. Like our church under construction right now. We didn't start like demoing walls and all the things that have happened, like for doors and stuff, with all the chairs still in there.
That's right.
Like we took a plan of action. We knew that the demolition was coming next, so we cleared everything out. You know, we got everything out of every nook and cranny that needed to be. We got all the chairs put and stacked in places, and we generously gave them to other people, and they came and got them before any of the mess started.
Right.
And so
even before anything was ever even touched, like there were meetings and meetings,
plans,
so many meetings.
meetings.
Literally, like we've been working on this, like, well, probably closer to 2 years that we've been planning this and working toward this.
And
it's
a plan. We didn't just
it started at a conference table. You know.
Yep. And now look at it.
Yeah. You don't. Yeah.
No, you got a plan. You got to have an action step next. Right. So really, in saying that, you don't just come the baseball bat. Like, you don't just come into the room and say, I'm going to use my fist. I don't have anything else around me. I'm going to use my fist to knock down this wall.
Right.
You plan. You prepare. You have. I'm not going to go in my house and demolish a closet than when I was supposed to be doing the bathroom. You know what I mean? Or, those types of things. So there's a plan, there's a purpose, there's a preparation that goes into it, like Pastor Travis was talking about. Like, you have to prepare even with the building that we're in right now, like, just with the demolition was the second phase, but we had to prepare with what it was going to look like, what we were going to do first, all of those things. So preparation definitely comes first, and then the demolition.
Well, and that's kind of like the thing with church. Sometimes people, they equate church to like a building or whatever, but a church is constantly changing. It's just like your kid. And like, if you aren't constantly, like, I can't put Patrick in the same clothes today that I put him in a year ago.
Absolutely.
And he's not going to have the same room. Like, the way his room looks is not, I can't leave him in the crib that he was born to and slept in then. And then when he's 14 and he's 7 foot tall, he can't sleep in that same. So it has to be constantly changing. And you have to constantly be looking ahead of, like, okay, what's the next step? What's the next phase? And preparing for that. And I think that our church is really doing a good job.
That reminds me of something that Pastor Chad used to say a lot, is that the church is less of an organization and more of an organism.
Yeah, that's right.
Yep.
And it can be hard for like a church. I could see how, like, anybody in the church, it could be hard to, like, we're doing this construction now, and like, you invest that money in that. And then I could see in a couple years, we might have to do something else and do something more. Yeah. And I could see how it'd be like, well, didn't we just do this, or didn't we just do that? Well, it's evolving, it's changing, right? It's
but like you made the reference to your kids. Like, I feel like that as a mom, like, did I just buy you new shoes?
That's right.
Literally already grown out of the new shoes.
This conversation today.
Like, we just do that. Like, and the kids grow so fast.
Yes.
Like, and as an organism, like, as the body of Christ, like, we should be growing as well.
Right.
We should be,
if we're
feeding
healthy, the right things,
right?
Yeah.
We should be growing.
That's right.
Things that don't grow are dead or unhealthy.
That's true.
Right.
You expect your kids to grow out of their shoes, out of their shirts, out of the different things that you have to buy for them all the stinking time.
Yeah,
I
agree.
Right.
And sometimes it is frustrating. Like, holy cow!
I
just did this. Did I just do this?
This is a lie. You didn't tell me it was too little then. Like, I'm convincing myself. No, I completely agree. And that's why you have to take it with, like, even the living organism, with the things that you're demolishing in your life, the relationships, the addictions, the just the bad food that you're putting into it, and physically or mentally, spiritually, whatever it may be, like, whatever you're putting in, like, you've got to realize that has to change.
Yeah,
like,
and it can't, and it's not always.
That's what demolition is.
Super prepared. Like, I can't, like, Kaysen wears a size small, adult small now. Well, I can't say, well, I know one day he's gonna.
He doesn't.
Medium, sorry. Yeah, no, he wears a size small, a youth large or extra large, and an adult small. Okay. It depends. Okay. But anyways, I can't buy him an adult small today and then say, well, I know in a couple years he's going to need an adult extra large. So I'll just go ahead and buy him that so that I'm prepared. But the truth is you just got to go through the steps.
Because you don't know.
The process. Because you don't know exactly how it's going to work, but you have to be prepared for each stage along the way.
Yeah,
it's true.
We have tried that with my kids' shoes because they had a really good sale at the Under Armour store.
Yeah.
And bought, I think, Mary Claire a pair of shoes. Yeah. And then bought, like, the next size up, thinking, well, we'll save these until like, so these are for right as school starts, and these are like at Christmas, like when so
when they need more.
They were already too small, and we had to go up one more size in that.
Yeah.
So, and bless her baby feet, like, they were shoved in these, like, we probably should have brought those out, like, more of, like, October, like fall break time. But she never said anything. No. But by the time it was, she's like, these are too tight.
But you try to prepare, but it's not the right time.
Our best laid plans.
You can't get ahead of it. You got to just walk the steps, walk through the process.
Well,
and you can't get too far ahead. You can't stay too far behind.
No, because the master contractor, Jesus, like if you go into a building and I'm like, I think I could move this wall and I could definitely put a hallway in here and I could move a door over here. That sounds fantastic. But until I get the contractor in there and he says, actually, this is a load-bearing wall, and in order to do this, this is the X amount of things we're going to have to do.
If you move this wall, the house will fall down.
Yeah, Where we wanted to start with demo and start taking it down because that sounds good and it looks right. But when we don't ask the contractor, then we might be taking things out of our life that could cause our fall.
Right.
You know?
Or doing something you're not prepared for.
Right.
I've got a friend that says, well, you can do anything for the right amount of money. Yeah. And you can tear that wall out, but it's going to cost a load of money. And it's like, okay, well, I'm going to use wisdom and choose not to do that because it's not as valuable as doing this.
So good.
Yep. So Bethany was talking about using the right tools and, her fist versus a bat versus, a sledgehammer. Yeah. But I think in the opposite direction too, like if you're just wanting to tear out a wall, you're not going to bring tannerite.
That's right.
It's true. You're not going to blow it up.
You're not going to blow up the whole house to get rid of one wall.
That's true.
That's
exactly right.
So, and I think you just have to have the right tools and use wisdom in what you're doing.
That's exactly right. I think that's a really good thing. So, I'd like to kind of challenge us this week to name maybe one thing in our life that just isn't serving us anymore, that it just needs to come down. It needs to come out of, our everyday normal life. And I challenge you to do the same thing. Like identify something in your life that is not serving a good purpose, is taking away from something else that helps you walk in your purpose. And maybe we can discuss that on the next podcast. But I think that the easy thing to do with being prepared and going into demolition and taking things out of our life is to do that, to formulate first, to ask direction first, to know what we're going to take out and why we're taking it out first. So if we can identify that wall that needs to come down and take the steps on that, one wall in a house of 50 walls is not much. One thing in your life that you can identify and take down and tear out and replace with something else that's better suited for your purpose is just 1 out of 50. So we can take that one by one until we get the structure that we want and what purpose that God has for us. So thank you for coming to the podcast today. Thanks for my lovely co-host here coming to the podcast today. I think we had some really good conversation. Don't forget that we are not meeting on campus. If you are a Victory Hill Young, we are not meeting on campus. We will be at Alvaton Elementary again this Sunday at 10 a.m. One service. It is so fun, kicking it a little old school. It's good. Bring your bleacher chair. Bring a camping chair if you want to. I don't really care. Sit on the side. But
some tennis balls underneath it.
Oh yeah, that's true. We got plenty. Did you know when you do set up and tear down that you have to go to Dunham's and buy like 60 some tennis balls? That was not something we were prepared for.
And then the kids run away with them.
Yes, I'm not sure. I'm not sure all 60 made it back, but we shall see. But just take it step by step this week. We do challenge you to take something in your life and figure out how the one thing that's not benefiting your purpose in Jesus, how we can take that down through demolition. But we will see you next week, same time, same place, and we will circle back to Sunday.